Our snowbirds have returned. The Adlers are back. Nice to see you. The Barbara Adler.
Original.
The original.
That's right.
Although I don't know which one of you is older.
I think I am, so it might be.
Barbara, are you older or is Barbara older?
I'm older. I'm older than you by a couple months.
Okay, so she really is the original Barbara Adler. Does that make you, Barbara B. Adler, the extra crispy? Yeah, that's weird. Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. I think that what we may have to do, we're not going to do it tonight because it's too late and it would be too much of a traumatic experience for all of us, is when we know that we're going to have a smallish crowd, we're going to cordon off certain sections so that everyone has to sit in the same section. If you happen to move on your own and make it easier for us, great. No pressure. Do what you want. Janet Kreisman's going to do what she wants anyway. And if you know Janet Kreisman, you know I'm just not telling the truth. I mean, I'm just not joking. That was hard to say. Okay, so let's begin like we always do with shh, 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 shh. Besides the fact that we're welcoming the Adlers back from way up north, back to cold Florida, I'd like to go around the congregation as we do and start out with simchot, anniversaries, birthdays, things that happened important, good. Amy, can you close the doors when you're coming in? Things that happened, yes, CJ.
I found out early this morning that my 92-year-old aunt that lives in Jamaica is fine.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
And my cousin finally found a safe passage to get to her, so she's without water and power, but she is alive and well.
Thank God. Yes, we were definitely thinking about Jamaica this week, and sending prayers to them as well. Anybody else? Yes, Jay?
We had a very successful interfaith dinner on Tuesday.
We did. I know, because I was there. We had a very successful interfaith dinner on Tuesday night. We do Wednesdays, but we do Tuesdays, don't we? We did Tuesday this week. Was it Wednesday? Because we covered for the church, because they covered for us during Yom Kippur. And I know it was successful because Bacha and I said to Danica and Akiva, you know, how did this make you feel? And Akiva said, it made me feel really good. And Danica said she liked it because when she goes to Camp Jenny, the majority of the kids are African American or Hispanic, like 98% of them. But at Interfaith, it was a pretty good mix of Caucasian, African American, Hispanics, and others. So the kids really felt like they were connect with the community that was there a little bit better. So, yeah, and it was also more hands-on because they got to actually talk to the people and feed them as opposed to seeing them walking by at camp. So, thank you for doing that. Anybody else? Yes, Janet. How much did we make? Wow, all right. And Susan's not even here to say thank you. So if you're watching on the internet, thank you, Susan Bernstein, and your crew. And Janet for all of your work, because I know that you were running around like crazy, and you are also a little bit under the weather, so thank you for doing that as well. Yes?
We are having, just for Temple Beth Shalom, a popcorn sale. There's a sign and order forms.
This is not an announcement. This is, this would be a time for you in a couple months when it's over to report that we had a great sale. Yeah, you can come up during announcements and announce it if you'd like, but we've had too much bad experience in the past with people turning this time into a 10-minute soliloquy. Yes? Oh, trunk or treat, I think it was not as successful as it was last year. We didn't have as many kids. I think because it was windy, that had something to do with it. But we had a good turnout. I would say that it was probably 50% temple members and 50% church members, which is good because last year it was like 90% church members. So it was a good mix. I have no idea. I have no idea, and I don't care because I don't want it, because it doesn't need to be in my house. Anybody else with a good thing that happened in the past week? Okay. Well then, we will go ahead and move on in our service. Don't forget to come up, Barbara, afterwards and tell the announcement. I know she won't forget. I'd like to invite up Susan Aheen, as that's what the email that came from Barbara Adler was. It's actually Susan Ahern, but her email corrected it to Susan Sheen. Page 2, Shabbat candles. I was like, who is Susan Sheen?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you, Susan. And I get to do something different tonight. I get to actually drink the wine, or grape juice.
Is there something in it? I had it covered.
Is there something in there? I can't really tell.
Oh, it's a bubble, I think. If it isn't, I'm not sticking my finger in. No, I'm pretty sure it's a bubble.
It might be somebody's hair. Who cares? Please rise on turn to page 5 for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikra kodesh, zecher letziyat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat l'chaim. Whatever it was is now down my throat. Please be seated. Page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. We continue on page 10 with the singing of Hine Matov.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Page 15. A psalm. Sing to Adonai a new song, for God has worked wonders. God's right hand, God's holy arm has won God victory. Adonai has manifested God's victory, has displayed God's triumph in the sight of the nations. God was mindful of God's steadfast love and faithfulness toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Together, raise a shout to Adonai, all the earth. Break into joyous songs of praise. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 20.
Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibbur echad, ishmi'anu echad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'tilah. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likra Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki him mekor ha'baracha. Meshmi kedem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavati la. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Itori, Itori, kiva orech, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kod Adonai, arak nigla. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We remain standing and turn to page 26 for the Reader's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. Bi'alma divrach irute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, uv'izman kariv. V'meru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam u'l'olmei almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shmei de Kudesha Brechu Leila min kol berchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata Damiran bi'alma V'meru Amen. Baruchu, page 28. Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach, Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue with Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30. Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, B'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvidvuna mishameh nitim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tziva'ot shemo. El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Arvim. Page 32. Ahavat Olam.
Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, Beth Shalom, Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta.
Please rise for the Shema,
Yes,
page
yes.
34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We continue with the chanting of the Ahavta on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam livanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot bein einecha uchtavtam Amezuzot beitecha visharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Michamocha, page 40. Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44, Hashkivenu. Sorry, 42.
Sometimes I lay under the moon, I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play one day. Shalom, ve'hamidenu shomereinu lechayim. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomereinu, and our children will lechayim.
We continue with the singing of Vishamru on page 44.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasod et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
Please rise as we continue on page 46 with the tefillah. Adonai, sefaitai tiftach, ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shmo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed. Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. So mech noflim verofei cholim. Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato. Lishenei afar. Michamocha bal gevurot. Umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukadoshim bechol yom yihalelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Page 55. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57, Ritzeh.
Lord,
We continue singing Shalom Rav on page 60.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom.
Page 62. Oseh shalom b'mermavu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth, as we say together, Amen. We continue with Elohai Nitzor, page 62 as well.
Elohai Nitzor Lishoni Mera Uspatai Midaber Mirma Vilim Kalalai Nafshi Tidam Vinafshi Ke'athar Lakol Tehiyah Elohai 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 Nitzor Lishoni Mera Uspatai Midaber Mirma Vilim kalalai nafshi tidam vinafshi ke'afar lakol tehiyah Elohai Elohai B'tach libi B'tach libi B'tach libi B'toratecha Elohai Nitzor Lishoni Mera Uspatai Midaber Mirma Vilim Kalalai Nafshi Tidam Vinafshi Ke'afar Lakol Tehiyah Elohai 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 Nitzor Lishoni Mera Uspatai Midaber Mirma Vilim Kalalai Nafshi Tidam Vinafshi Ke'afar Lakol Tehiyah Elohai Elohai Yiyu le'ratzon Yimrefi V'hikyon Libi Lefanecha Adonai 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 Tzuri
take a few moments for our own silent thoughts and prayers. We come now in our service to the time where we think of all of those who are in need of healing, whether it be mind, body, or spirit. You'll notice on this screen, the way that it looks, it's broken down into groups and then separately, individually. It's really difficult to maintain it this way because people make changes, and thankfully people make changes when they pull people off, and that's a good thing. So you'll see next week it's going to have a completely different format. Everyone's just going to be the same. There won't be groups. It'll just, everyone's name will be on there. It'll be easier to maintain in the future. We won't have this ugly blue color, hopefully. But it'll also be a little bit easier. I'm going to try and do it in alphabetical order. We'll see how that works. You know, it's a work in progress, as they say. But besides the names that we have on the screen, if there's somebody that you'd like to add to our prayers of healing this Shabbat, please raise your hand.
Tommy Williams, David Caulfield, Lula Isa, Sherry Richmond, Janet and Robert Stroop, Gabrielle Picaro. Julie Hernandez.
No, look from eyes.
Marty Bruckner, Richard Bruckner, Stephanie Benedict, Carol Hahn, Jerry Seawood. Barbara Paglia.
Yeah, I want to remind you guys when I'm doing this, look for my eyes, not for my hand, because people talk over each other and everyone's name needs to be said. So look where I'm looking at, not by my hand. We think of all of them and we continue. You can follow along on page 253 or just listen to the words on the screen.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Perhaps you have heard me or someone else speak about how amazing this congregation is. Maybe you've heard someone say they felt incredibly welcomed and continue to feel that welcome each time they come back. Of course, that is the primary goal of your leadership, including me, your rabbi. We genuinely want this congregational community to be one that is open to and for anyone who is looking for a safe Jewish space. And when push comes to shove and anyone in this congregation has a need, may you find that help here in your TBS family. This week's Torah portion allows us the opportunity to take a look at one of the most important relationships of all time, Abram and God. The Torah portion for this week, clearly an incredibly important portion, as if any of them are not important, is Parshat Lech Lecha. Will someone other than Rachel tell me the literal meaning of Lech Lecha? Going. Not going up, that would be Aliyah. Okay. Say what? Go ahead. You go. Lech. Lecha. Lech means go, and lecha means you go. What God does, asks Abram, not yet Abraham's, doing this portion. Don't worry, this is a trick question, by the way. For God asks Abram to do a lot in this Torah portion. Apparently I can't read my own handwriting because the question was, what does God ask Abram to do in this portion? Don't worry, it's a trick question. Just tell me the first thing that comes to mind. What does God ask of Abram? God tells Abram, Lech Lecha, go forth from your land, your birthplace, your father's house, to the land that I will show you. And by the way, when I left Marietta and when I left Knoxville, I quoted from Lech Lecha in my goodbye letter. That's not what this is. I promise. God promises in return to bless the seed of Abram, to make Abram a great nation. Quote, I will bless those who bless you, and I will pronounce doom on those who curse you. Through you, all of the families of the earth shall be blessed. End quote. Basically, all Abram has to do is go to a new land, and God will bless his name, and he, Abraham, will be the father of a great nation. Sounds pretty simple, right? Anybody moved? Anybody think it was that simple? Well, I'll tell you that throughout this week's portion, Abram goes through at least 6 trials that are tests of Abram's loyalty to God. So it was not that simple. Yes, Abram was required to leave the land of his fathers and journey to a strange land, but it was just not that simple. A few years ago, I heard, I heard another rabbi discussing this very aspect of the relationship between God and Abram. The question was, why did God not just present the land of Israel to Abram? Why did Abram have to journey out to be shown the land? According to this other rabbi, these many tests were a significant part of the relationship between God and Abram. Think way ahead to Moses. They didn't just go straight to the promised land. They did like this. For the relationship, the friendship between God and Abram to develop, both God and Abram needed to go through these tests, these trials together. The tests surely strengthened the relationship. And when the relationship was at its strongest point, then the true covenant between God and Abram could be revealed. However, even after this parsha, the tests of Abram and God were not finished. As a matter of fact, Abram's most difficult test occurs in next week's Torah portion, Parshat Vayera, the very famous story of the binding of Isaac. It is after that test that God admits that Abram would do anything to satisfy his love and devotion to God. Think about the relationships you have with your friends, your close friends, your acquaintances, and your family members. If you were able to just blink your eyes when you first meet someone and then automatically be the closest of friends, would you really be satisfied with that relationship? Would you truly be able to appreciate the person you are close friends with? I'm pretty sure that we can agree that relationships take more than just the blink of an eye. I believe it is these trials, these tests of our relationships with people that allow our relationships to truly grow and be appreciated. Well, what about our individual and personal relationships with God? We are taught from a very early age of God's significance and the promise to the children of Abraham, those who would eventually become the Jewish community. We are to be, as Rob's shirt tells us, God's chosen people. And God will protect us throughout the ages as long as we follow the laws of Torah and commit ourselves to treating other human beings with kindness, love, and understanding. What about when bad things happen in our lives? Are we wrong for looking to God and asking why, or even perhaps yelling at God? I don't think we're wrong. I believe that part of our enduring relationship with God is our ability to be in conversation, and yes, even in an argument with God. When I was at Central Florida on Wednesday teaching an Intro to Judaism class, your granddaughter was in that class, Jackie. I always leave time for questions, and one of the people in the class, not your granddaughter, had heard me earlier in my teaching talk about being angry with God, and he said, is it really okay in Judaism to be angry at God? Aren't you supposed to just take it and understand it? And I said, no. Because even when you're angry at someone, eventually you learn how to deal with it. That's what a relationship is about. Well, let me tell you one story that illustrates what I'm referring to. This past Sunday evening, Batya, Danica, Akiva, and I were driving back from visiting Carly in Boca Raton. As you may have heard, there were some pretty intense rainstorms and flooding in South and certain parts of Central Florida this past weekend. Well, we drove right through it coming home. And let me tell you, not only was it intense, it was pretty darn scary at times. And I've driven through a lot of rainstorms. Just around mile marker 279 on the turnpike, we were in the left lane traveling at about 60 miles per hour. In the left lane, I turned my blinker on to get in the right lane. As I was changing lanes, I must have hit a wet spot in the road because I started to hydroplane and lost control of my vehicle. The next thing I know, we were spinning out, and I distinctly remember two major hits. We were hit by another car on the road, and we slammed into the guardrail. I have no idea which happened first. I looked up, and we were on the side of the road, off the highway, like on the shoulder, up against the guardrail, facing the oncoming traffic. But we were off the road. I could see out my back window. There was the other car. We then received immediate phone calls from Life 360, State Farm Auto Response System, and the rescue response team from our vehicle. Thank goodness for modern technology. I should say also that the first phone call we got was from Carly because we're on Life 360, and Life 360 alerted her that her family was in an accident. Can you imagine how she was? The police and other first responders were dispatched to our location in a matter of minutes. Of course, we didn't see anyone for about 30 minutes. There were many other accidents on the road that night. But thankfully, we stayed in the car as safe as we could be. All rolling down the windows, of course, because every single airbag opened up and all of that smoke was still in the car. So I opened up the sunroof, and the rain was coming in on me. But it was okay because it was air. Batya and I both immediately turned to the kids to make sure they were safe and okay. Akiva was very shaken up, and Danica was a real trooper trying to comfort him while Batya and I figured out what to do next. We sat in the car for about an hour and a half as we waited for the first responders to do what they needed to do to secure the scene. After what seemed like forever, Daryl Etheridge was on the scene to take us home. Now, of course, Batya and I have felt so blessed by the outpouring of support we have received. Thank you all so much for the love that you've shown to us, and especially to Daryl and Rachel, who kept us calm and helped us get home. We finally arrived home around 2 a.m. But the kids did not go to school on Monday. Danica actually had a soda in the back in a cup, and it got all over her hair, so she had to shower at 2 o'clock in the morning because her hair was sticky. You don't go to bed with sticky hair. This brings me to the crux of the story. Where was God? Were we to be angry at God for the water on the road? Should I be angry at God for the fear and the dismay felt by Akiva and Danica? What about the constant images that keep appearing and reappearing in my head of the accident in which all four of us perhaps should have been killed? Or I will do what I'm doing. I will thank God for protecting my family, for keeping us safe and allowing us to walk away from a situation that really could have been so much worse. The Christmans are aware. I am thankful the other driver was able to drive her car home and walk away from the accident. Sometimes we just cannot understand everything that happens, and that is okay. God was surely present with my family on Sunday night, and although I am still bruised and sore, which is why I'm not shaky with my right hand, I am thankful to God to still be here with you, my Temple Beth Shalom family. The challenges in the Torah and the trials we face today teach us that a deep relationship with the divine isn't defined by silence in the good times or blind faith in the bad. It is defined by the courage to engage. It is defined by our willingness to ask, to question, and yes, even to shout, "Why?" while still having the faith to say, "Thank you for being there with us." Abram endured 7 trials in this week's portion, because relationships are forged not in comfort, but in commitment. Our enduring covenant with God is strong enough to handle our fear, our anger, and our gratitude all at once. My family and I walked away from that highway crash because just like Abram, God was present in the midst of our crisis. May we, as a part of your Temple Beth Shalom, be equally present for one another in every challenge, knowing that our human relationships, forged in love and commitment, are the most sacred promise we can keep. May we as a community continue to strengthen our relationships with God and with each other, remembering our ancestors and the struggles they had. May these struggles guide us in our quest to be the best person and friend that we can be in every aspect of our lives. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. And now, I invite you to please rise as we turn to page 282 for Elenu. Rachel, would you open the doors? You're about the same height as Danica, so it works. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshid, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, Vegoralenu kechol hamonam, Vanachnu koreim, Umishtachavim umodim, Livnei melech, Malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihye Adonai echad, ushemo echad. Please be seated. It has been a blessing this week to pull off 2 more names this week. 2 more bodies that have been returned to Israel so their families can move on. And we still wait for these 11 bodies to be returned. This Shabbat, our congregation commemorates the death anniversaries, the art sites of Summer Moskowitz, Israel Lishkoff, grandfather of Dana Olstein, Eliana Klopper, mother of Barbara Walensky, Blanche Flax, Alexander Sander Deutsch, grandfather of Andrea Caulfield, Eleanor Webman, wife of Stan Webman, Jeffrey Shoulder, cousin of Jay Kreisman, Esther Katz, mother of Herb Katz, Robert Leonard Block, remembered by Elka Moliver, Sophia Sanders, and we'll say Sidney Colin this week, but we'll say his name again on the Hebrew date as well. And we are in the final week of Shloshim for Linda Donaldson. If there is a name that you'd like to add to our prayers of memory, please raise your hand. $294, please rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudusha b'rechu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. And we say together, amen. Please be seated. And now I invite our president to give us some announcements.
They're short and sweet today. That's the second short joke you've made. Okay.
November 7th, Kabbalat Shabbat is also our new member service at 7 p.m. Saturday, November 8th is our Shabbat morning service at 10:30 a.m. And Friday, November 14th, Kabbalat Shabbat is at 7 p.m. Upcoming events, Oltol's Thanksgiving Interfaith Service, which is Thursday, November 20th at 6 p.m. Oltol's Thanksgiving Interfaith Luncheon at Ocala Tree of Life Sanctuary is Sunday, November 23rd at 11:45 a.m. The luncheon will be catered and free of charge to all TBS and church members. There is a sign-up sheet on the donut. I made sure it was there today to sign up if you are coming. It's just an RSVP. And the deadline to sign up is November 10th. If you have any questions, please contact Eddie Stocking from the church. This week's Oneg is sponsored by the congregation, and this week's Bima Flowers are sponsored by Joe and Chris Switt in honor of their anniversary. Happy anniversary. I know they're here somewhere. Oh, Chris is here. Joe's out there. Okay.
Wait. Barbara Adler.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody who was able to join us Saturday night. I want to thank everyone who was able to join us Saturday night for the music bingo. It was wonderful. It was so much fun. We are now doing a fundraiser just for Temple Shalom, Beth Shalom. It's going to be a popcorn sale. So if you like popcorn, this is the way to go. There are order forms on the front desk, and all you have to do is fill out your order, put your check and the order in an envelope addressed to me, and throw it in our donation box. Or if you've got any questions, see me later. Thank you.
So, of course, I'd like to thank the music team, Susan and Jay and Dale and Raul, for the musical inspiration in our service this evening. One other announcement. As you are leaving tonight, please be careful. In the parking lot, if you may have noticed, there were some vehicles in the parking lot. Kalesa is having a trick-or-treating event for all of the people that live in Kalesa, and apparently all their friends who don't live in Kalesa as well. And if you're unaware, we don't just have trick-or-treating for the kids, we also have trick-or-treating for the adults. There's actually an adult map that shows houses that are offering Jell-O shots and other things that adults would have. Usually people walk around and whatever. We'll put up if we ever have Halloween on Friday night again, which we will at some point, we'll maybe put some signs up in the parking lot. But I believe, because I believe in people, that people will not be driving under the influence, but people are people. So when you're leaving the parking lot tonight, just be careful and watch for children. The children will not be drinking, but my children will not be drinking. Of course, they won't be in the parking lot either, so. Okay, we will continue in our service with Hamotzi. And I've been told that this is a pumpkin and chocolate chip. Challah is the one in there as well?
That one is pumpkin caramel.
So the one in there is pumpkin caramel. If you don't like caramel, but you do like chocolate, you're welcome to share with me since my family is not here tonight. It's a small one, so if you're going to take some, take a small piece. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Our closing song this evening is Yerushalayim Shel Zahav.
Isa Baruch Harabayim in Kopa Amonim Uvtar Dematilan Be'even Shvuya B'chaloma Ha'ir Asher Badad Yoshevet Uveliba Choma Yerushalayim Shel Zahav V'shel Nechoshev V'shel Or Halo Lecho Shiroich Ani Kinor Yerushalayim Shel Zahav V'shel Nechoshet V'shel Or Halo Lecho Shiroich Ani Kinor Hazarnu El Barot Hamayim Lashuk Velakikor Shofar Karei Bahar Abayit Be'ir Ha'atika Uvamarot Asher Basela Alfei Shmeshot Zochot V'shuv Nered Yam HaMelech B'derech Yericho Yerushalayim Shel Zahav V'shel Nechoshet V'shel Or Halo Lecho Shiroich Ani Kinor Yerushalayim Shel Zahav V'shel Nechoshet V'shel Or Halo Lecho Shiroich Ani Kinor
Shabbat Shalom. See you in the social hall for Oneg.